The only one who can give him what he needs right now.
If I have to tell you again, it'll be the last thing you eat.
I'm afraid she made a big mistake.
Now it's time to do it my way.
Long until you're back in her bed, Chase.
General Hospital.
Nobody in Port Charles expected a simple charity event to become the center of the biggest emotional storm the town had seen in months. Emma Drake had spent the last year building a new life for herself. She had returned to Port Charles with fresh goals, a clear vision for her future, and a growing connection with Gio Palmieri. Their friendship had slowly transformed into something deeper, something neither of them had planned, but both had come to treasure. For the first time in a long while, Emma felt certain about where her life was heading. Then everything changed. The annual Harbor Hope Gala was supposed to be a celebration. Local businesses donated generously, community leaders gathered to support the cause, and residents filled the waterfront venue with excitement. Emma arrived with Gio. They laughed together. They posed for photos. Friends noticed how comfortable they seemed around each other. Many believed it was only a matter of time before they officially became Port Charles's newest couple. But just as the evening reached its peak, the unexpected happened. A luxury sedan pulled up outside the venue. The driver stepped out. Then a young man emerged from the back seat. The moment Emma saw him, the color drained from her face. Gio immediately noticed. The stranger wasn't just anyone. It was Liam Carter, Emma's former boyfriend, a chapter of her life she thought had ended forever. The room suddenly felt smaller. Questions raced through Emma's mind. Why was Liam here? Why now? And perhaps most importantly, how much did he know? Liam walked confidently into the gala, greeting guests as though he belonged there. Many people assumed he was simply another donor. Only Emma understood how complicated his appearance truly was. Years earlier, Emma and Liam had shared dreams of building a future together. They had traveled, studied, and planned countless adventures. But eventually, their goals drifted apart. Life took them in different directions. The relationship ended peacefully, but certain questions had never been fully answered. Questions Emma preferred to leave in the past. Unfortunately, the past had just walked through the front door. Gio remained calm on the surface. Inside, however, he couldn't ignore what he had witnessed. Emma looked shaken, Liam looked confident, and neither seemed prepared for the reunion. As the evening continued, whispers spread throughout the gala. People noticed the tension. Some speculated that old feelings might still exist. Others believed Liam's arrival was simply a coincidence. Only a handful of people suspected there was a much bigger story unfolding. Later that evening, Liam finally approached Emma. Their conversation was polite, respectful, careful, yet every word carried hidden meaning. Liam explained that he had recently accepted a position with an environmental research organization opening a branch in Port Charles. The move wasn't temporary. He planned to stay. Emma struggled to hide her surprise. Port Charles suddenly felt much smaller. When Gio eventually joined the conversation, Liam greeted him warmly. There was no hostility, no confrontation, no obvious conflict, and somehow that made everything even more uncomfortable. Over the following weeks, Liam became increasingly involved in community projects. His organization partnered with local businesses, he attended public events, he volunteered at environmental cleanups. Before long, nearly everyone in town knew his name. Unfortunately for Gio, every appearance seemed to bring Liam and Emma together. They shared professional interests. They participated in similar projects. They often found themselves working on the same community initiatives. Gio tried not to let it bother him. After all, Emma was free to spend time with whoever she wanted. But emotions rarely follow logic. The more Liam appeared, the harder it became to ignore his presence. Friends began noticing changes. Gio became quieter, more distracted, less confident. Meanwhile, Emma found herself caught between two different versions of her life. One represented her future, the other represented her past. Neither path felt simple anymore. Then another surprise arrived. During preparations for a major waterfront conservation project, Emma discovered documents revealing that Liam's organization had originally chosen another city for its expansion. Port Charles had not been the first choice. In fact, it hadn't even been the second. The discovery raised an unsettling question. Had Liam truly moved to Port Charles for work, or was there another reason? Emma wrestled with the possibility for days. Eventually, she confronted him. Liam didn't avoid the question. Instead, he told her the truth. Years ago, after their relationship ended, he always wondered whether they had walked away too soon. When the opportunity to relocate appeared, he saw it as a chance to find closure. Not necessarily reconciliation, just answers. The confession left Emma speechless. For the first time, she understood why his arrival felt so significant. Liam wasn't trying to disrupt her life. He was trying to understand his own. Unfortunately, rumors began spreading before the truth could. Stories grew more dramatic with every retelling. Some claimed Emma planned to reunite with Liam. Others insisted Gio was preparing to walk away. Soon, everyone seemed to have an opinion. Everyone except the people actually involved. The growing speculation finally reached a breaking point during a public fundraiser at the waterfront. A misunderstanding involving a project announcement caused several attendees to believe Emma and Liam were launching a major initiative together. Photos quickly circulated online. The rumors exploded. By evening, the entire town seemed convinced that Emma and Liam were becoming inseparable. Gio couldn't ignore it any longer. He met Emma later that night. For the first time, both of them spoke honestly about everything: the uncertainty, the rumors, the jealousy, the fears they had both been hiding. It wasn't an easy conversation, but it was necessary. Emma admitted she cared deeply about Gio. She also admitted Liam's return had forced her to revisit parts of her past she thought she had fully understood. Gio listened carefully. Instead of reacting with anger, he asked a simple question: "What do you want?" The answer came immediately. Emma wanted honesty, she wanted trust, and most importantly, she wanted the freedom to move forward without being controlled by old memories. The following day, Emma arranged one final meeting with Liam. They walked along the harbor where so much of the recent drama had unfolded. There, Liam finally shared something he had never admitted before. Seeing Emma again had reminded him of how much they once meant to each other, but it had also shown him how much they had changed. The people they were now were not the people they had been years earlier. Sometimes closure wasn't about getting a second chance. Sometimes it was about accepting that a chapter had ended exactly when it was supposed to. Emma smiled. For the first time since his arrival, everything felt clear. The conversation ended with mutual respect and genuine appreciation for the memories they had shared. No dramatic confrontation, no bitterness, no heartbreak, just understanding. Weeks later, Liam announced a new assignment overseas. His organization had selected him to lead an international conservation effort. The opportunity perfectly matched his ambitions. Before leaving, he said goodbye to friends throughout Port Charles. When he met Emma one final time, both knew they were leaving the past exactly where it belonged, in the past. As for Gio and Emma, their relationship emerged stronger than ever. The challenges they faced had forced them to communicate honestly and trust each other completely. Rather than tearing them apart, the experience brought them closer. Port Charles eventually moved on to its next mystery, its next surprise, and its next round of gossip. But many residents remembered the lesson hidden within the drama. Sometimes the greatest threat to a relationship isn't another person, it's the fear of what might happen if trust disappears. And sometimes the strongest relationships are the ones that survive uncertainty and come out stronger on the other side. For Emma and Gio, the future remained unwritten. But one thing was finally certain: they were ready to write it together.
Because if that's all you care it's your kids that are gonna lose.
It all changes if we play this the wrong